Hey, this is a very unusual episode of the Sick Career Podcast. This one was from my annual family vacation when I go down to Costa Rica, and it's a time for me to unwind. During this vacation, I had the opportunity to sit down with my cousin, Peter Groverman, who has taken a portfolio approach to his career. He's done lots of things: entrepreneurial, nonprofit, consulting, lots of different things. So we sit down, talk about his career, some of the decisions that he's made, and and also we talk a lot about how he has gained some of his successes. And a lot of that is really through building relationships. So it's an interesting episode. The audio quality is not top notch. We were in Costa Rica and the microphones didn't work as intended, but you'll hear a lot. You'll hear Peter and I discuss about the year successes. You'll also hear what my best success was of 2023. So listen to that, or my highlight of 2023. So it's probably not what you're going to expect. Anyway, enjoy this episode of the Sick Career Podcast. And as a reminder, if you're ever looking for a better job quickly, confidently, and with lots more money, that's why we created Kadima Careers. Kadima Careers does just that. We help you get a better job, then we help you negotiate the offer, and then we make sure that you are set up for success in your first 90 days in your brand spanking new job. So we offer personalized coaching where we work with you one-on-one and we guarantee to work with you until you get the better job. And we also offer group coaching where you're in a group, you still have the support and access to me, just not direct one-on-one access to me and the coaches, but we will still help support you, personalized or group. So go to kadimacareers.com, check it out, and now listen to this episode with me and Peter Groverman, Esquire. Last three words I'll leave you with are: own your career. So, Peter Groverman,
Yeah.
it is nice to have you back here
Thanks for
on
having me.
the Sick Career Podcast. 1 year since you've last been on the show. Talk to me a little bit about how has your last year been for you?
Been a good year. You know, a lot of growing, learning. Really excited for 2024.
What were some of the big successful endeavors that have occurred in the last year? And then we'll flip it on. What are some failures that you had that you could learn from? So let's first talk about the successes.
Nice. Yeah, so this year I started the first half of the year as the entrepreneur in resident at Villanova School of Law. That was really neat. Probably one of the most rewarding experiences I could have done. I was excited to go into it, and I maximized every second of it, which is kind of neat. That was probably my peak of the year, I think. My professional side.
What are some of the entrepreneurs that you advised? What were some of the projects that they worked on? What were some of the things that you were able to contribute to those?
Yeah, the best thing I did was, and I was just so fortunate to have AI and the whole conversation of AI taking place while I was at the school. That was pretty wild. So most of interest is the school. Villanova didn't have any policy for AI. There's no rule book on AI.
So what's their policy now?
Well, the first question is, what was the policy originally? They didn't have one, right?
No school probably had one.
They didn't I approached them and I said, what's the policy? And
who did you approach?
So I was plugged in with the provost, the head of technology, the dean of the law school, and most of the admin and faculty, where I direct access to all the administrators.
All these people took a meeting with you?
They did. Yeah, actually, I led the charge. I posed the question. I said, I don't want to say it was just my meeting. It wasn't like that, but I definitely was the catalyst and the instigator. Before me, I approached the dean of the law school. The deans, I said, what's the policy? He said, the policy is to wait and see what other schools do.
Okay, so they're basically punting it down the road.
And I was like, yeah, I'm here. You're paying me. Put me to work. And I created an actual like manifest, an actual like a really nice like outline policy, a proposition for the school. And the dean and a couple of the other administrators were like, oh, we need to actually. He's right. We should actually bring other people, and there are a lot of people at the school who are like doing their own independent research, or teaching classes, and or like a lot of the librarians also. There was like each library has like a technology specialist, so they were all brought into a conversation. We had an initial roundtable discussion talking about it, and then I immediately, almost in, like as I within a week or two of me starting the position, I had students coming to the office from the undergrad who were presenting ideas using AI to incorporate into their education, which is like really kind of interesting, mainly for cheating purposes. And they came to me as kind of someone they could talk to about how could they do what they're doing without getting expelled.
Right.
So that was kind of an interesting position to be put in.
Okay. So now Villanova has this big position on AI and utilization.
Yeah, I don't know where it all landed. I think the final outcome, I think, was it's up to each professor how they want to incorporate it into their own independent classrooms.
Okay.
I think it's pretty clear that you need to put the work in. You can't just have ChatGPT, and if you do, there's going to be consequences. And especially from the legal standpoint, a lot of there was a case that happened earlier in the year where there was an actual associate in a firm who submitted a brief that was mainly ChatGPT written, and he got caught. He was, I think, disbarred. I think they made him a scapegoat for the seriousness of the offense. So that was interesting. But we had one kid. We had one kid who came with a couple other kids, and they had built an app. AI had launched a tool for professors and teachers to use, so that if they suspected a paper of being written by ChatGPT, they could run it through this AI, and the AI would tell them whether or not this paper was written with AI.
Right.
Help. These kids had built a widget that would run the paper through ChatGPT's AI detector, and then rewrite it again to beat the detector.
So at some point, it's like, shouldn't people learn how to communicate with other people? Whether you're communicating with ChatGPT,
It's like spy versus spy versus spy type of thing. So that was one of the big questions on the campus. What do you do with these kids who now have put this app on the App Store, and we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month? So do you reward the ingenuity and the professional, the entrepreneurial spirit, or do you punish them because they're violating the ethical code of the university? So obviously Villanova, being Villanova, took the more conservative approach. It was like, we don't want you doing this. If you want to be enrolled in this school, then either figure out a way, either to offload this business, can't be operating this business, and B, there had to be some other commitment. I don't really remember what it was. But
so did the students remain in the school?
I think I don't remember exactly this group. I think one of them dropped out, and the other one had a visa issue. So he was a foreign national. If he dropped out, I think it would have been a problem.
Right.
So he had a little bit of a position. I don't really remember the specifics, but I do know that it was a point of conflict at the school.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are some successes. A lot of this headway that you made on the AI space at Villanova and being a trailblazer in the AI industry, I guess. What about on the flip side? What have been some challenges you've had this year, failures? Like, you run a lot of different businesses, and let's just remind people all the different businesses that you're associated with in. Because like with me, I just accelerate careers. You have 5 things?
I got too many things.
Yeah. So what are those 5 things?
Yeah,
and
so I
talk about like what you've learned from like any of
and what's not
situations.
working and what we could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's 5.
Yeah, there's a couple. I have a nonprofit, the Relief Foundation. I've got I'm on the board of Grovara, an export technology company, taking American brands like this kombucha, GT's kombucha, global. Actually, I brought this is one of my favorite success stories.
Nice.
Being able to be in Costa Rica and have a kombucha that I can drink that I love here, and I brought it here.
That's amazing.
Yeah. so you got Relief, you got Grovara, you've got an AI consulting business, which basically took the entrepreneur residence thing and parlayed it into actual consulting company.
Yes.
New
So
Biz
people
AI.
can come talk to you about some of your wisdom on the AI front.
I love talking about it. I try and stay on the forefront of it. I'm not the best at it, but I'm learning.
So that's a third. That's a third.
Yeah. And then what else? I have. That's pretty much it. I mean, I had a gallery.
Well, what are you wearing around your neck now? Like,
This is part of the Relief Foundation. Now, this is the Freedom Tags, right? So this is actually, thanks for bringing that up. The Freedom Tag is a dog tag.
Just watch it. I think it's like tangled with the mic, so just
don't
hold it there, but you can hold one up.
We're selling these. They're $36 a piece, and you get a Freedom Tag. And all the proceeds go to help the families of the Israeli hostages. We're taking on in October, and so really cool. We've actually got a bunch of. I think it's more of a success, but also could be a little bit of a failure. We're going to figure out. This is real time in motion. The Relief Foundation partnered with the organization that is making and selling these, and so they can now sell these and provide 501c3 tax incentives. Right, people can write off their donation now, and 97% of the proceeds go to help families. So Relief is just mainly a pass-through. The 3% just covers our base expenses in operating this thing. We've got Elon Musk in one, which is kind of a mixed bag at the moment, but you got Jerry Seinfeld had one on last week.
Yeah, no, I've seen these all over the place.
Yeah.
I have. I left
You got
in my
yours?
hotel room.
Yeah, but they're great.
I had a hard time attaching it, but that's because I have fine motor skill issues.
Yeah, so I'm all over the place. I've got and then I have Better For You Media, of course, my fourth one. That's my main focus. It's a media company. Basically, what's happening was exporting all these products globally, and then it was like, oh, maybe I can tell the stories too that help promote the products. And so I started a media company, and that's really how I partition my day. Fortunately, not everything takes my full time. I built good teams around each endeavor.
And you take on what is commonly talked about as a portfolio career. I don't know if you've heard that term.
No, I love this.
But it's like you have all these different endeavors that take different amount of time during different peaks and valleys and things like that. You have this portfolio of things, and some things go up, some things go down. My question was, does that sound like a good analogy? And I didn't create it. There's actually a friend of mine that created a company called, I don't know, the Portfolio Collective, and it's about portfolio careers. And how do you think about your careers there? How do you invest your time across those four endeavors?
Yeah, good question. I operate around my email and my calendar, and they kind of dictate. And then I have my personal interests, and if I'm lucky, then all three align. I can grab dinner with that person in New York I wanted to see, take the meeting that I've been needing to handle, and in the commute to and from, handle whatever phone call or Zoom meeting I have to take. So I can partition up my day so that it can accommodate a lot of chaos that happens from each of the individual companies. Does that make sense? How do I feel about it? Is that your question?
Yeah. Like, how do you balance those different requirements? Is it based on urgency?
There's a high. Every day there's a high. High low, low high, low low, right? And I can kind of segment my day, and the goal is not to forget the low lows and put all your time into high highs. It's being smart in how I allocate. And I'm really good on my phone. Yeah.
Is there an ultimate metric that you're going for? Like, if you look at the portfolio of your four businesses, and that's not even taking into account your social side, we spend, I know family is important to you. We're down here spending time with our family. But looking at those four different things, what are you trying to optimize for, if at all? Are you trying to optimize for fun, for money, for...
I think it's a lot of legacy. I love leaving an impact. I love knowing that something can outlive. I mean, the most rewarding thing to me about Grovara is I'm not in the day-to-day. That's pretty cool. The fact I see it makes money, and I'm not. I make board corrections. Like I contribute at the board meetings.
Is that your biggest cash flow? Like if you look at the four things, if you focus on like you have to you go on nice vacations, you need money. Which of the four contribute the biggest contribution to your cost of living?
Yeah, all of them contribute. It's kind of nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Equally, like
yeah, pretty equally now. Yeah, I don't really do much, less on the nonprofit side, but I do a lot more of a. I don't partition my day based on like a paycheck. If that makes sense. Yeah, it's more so a sense of urgency and opportunity costs. Like the Relief Foundation, like partnering up with the Freedom Tags.
Yeah.
These
Right.
things,
What else would you be doing? Like by focusing your time on there, what are you giving up?
right. Well, that's right. And also, this has a little bit being Jewish, and I have a little bit more of a how can I contribute?
Yeah.
So this kind of helps with that. But there's certainly an element of, and that's what goes with the personal interest overlay that I talked about before. But like, time, these hostages are held now. This is like obviously a high priority of mine. What can we do to sell more of these? Get the word out, get recognition, and hopefully get people home. So
Where can people actually get those right now? Like I know you gave them to me, but not
yeah, freedomtags.org. Freedomtags.org. But what's interesting too is like with all these portfolio companies, first off, there's a lot of overlap between the companies. So I'll meet someone from Guevara in the food business, and their family has a peanut butter farm in South Georgia. And I'm like, oh, that'd be great to do content on. Let me get the media company plugged in.
Everyone loves content on peanut butter. You can just imagine kids getting it
Are
stuck in the top of
you
their
a
mouth.
creamy or a chunky guy?
I like chunky generally, although it depends. Like on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I definitely like it crunchy. But if I'm dipping chocolate or dipping something in peanut butter, then I like the smooth.
Wow, that's pretty specific.
Yeah, what about yourself?
Total creamy.
And
Can't do
I'm
chunks.
all for the trans fats. I know they talk about like having a natural one, but then it just like gets all separated. It's really disgusting. So give me a couple of trans fats and give me a nice smooth, creamy peanut butter.
That's
or
what I'm
even a
saying.
Chunky,
You're chunky.
just a little bit of trans
All right.
fats, just enough to spread. Yeah. So we diverted a little bit, and let's just do it. So as we get into the second half of this very engaging podcast, Peter.
Are you learning something?
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to learning. Well, not every podcast needs to learn something. I don't know if I don't know. Do you think I should have learned something?
It's
But
kind of like open terrain.
no, I've been entertained, and it's interesting to hear different perspectives of how, like, your perspective on focusing on things works for you, and it gives you like good variety in life. And I think the variety is perhaps a value as well. Like, how satisfied would you be if you were doing the same thing every day?
I wouldn't know. I'd be. I don't know. I mean, I think about like even in school, you're learning about different things, but you're still in school. For me, it's all kind of like the same. It's like my own brand. If you think about it from a legacy perspective, that's how I see it. So building upon that foundation and maximize the impact. Our cousin Roger has like a really good thing. He's like, I'm just trying to make the most good. I think that's like a really good policy to abide by. So I think if I had to do the same thing every day, I'd be really good at it. But I'd probably be really bored.
The question is, how do you measure good? So is it lives saved? Is it money donated? Is it people educated? Is it?
There's a little bit of intuition that goes with it. I can say that from conviction. I was an early responder at Katrina, the Haiti earthquake, the Japanese tsunami, at least half a dozen hurricanes since 2010, right? Mudslides.
You've seen it all.
Now we built the Relief Foundation has now done incredible wonders. I've helped done tons of things. Like I know what good is.
How quickly can you and the relief organization activate? So when something happens, you've gone through all these natural disasters. So have you built a system that can operate very quickly and swiftly?
Yes, so good. We partnered with a group called the Ribbon app, which I'm helping bring to market. An alpha user of the Ribbon app. It's an app where it allows. Do you know what a fiscal sponsorship is? A fiscal sponsor.
I know what a sponsor is. I know what fiscal means. I don't know what a fiscal sponsor
So then
is.
you're going to learn something.
Yeah. How do I learn?
Okay, so if you're a 501c3 nonprofit and you did all the filings, you've gotten your certificate, you are now a bona fide 501c3. The whole process takes about $25,000 in maybe 2 years. A lot of filing, a lot of credential work.
Right.
It's not the easiest thing to do.
That's how the relief organization became a 501c.
Well, the way we became a 501c3, and I'll get to my point about fiscal sponsor, is there's a group out of Orlando called Clean the World. In 2000,
Sounds like a noble endeavor.
You've heard of them.
No.
Maybe you have. They're a group that goes after you leave the hotel. They take the soaps and the shampoos that are left over, and then they process them down, clean them, repackage them, and give them to the homeless.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool.
I feel bad when I take the soap home.
Well, a lot of people don't.
Right.
And so, especially in 2010, they got their 501c3, and we didn't have our 501c3 yet, but we wanted to put a trip to Haiti. So we partnered with them and became their fiscal sponsoree. They were our fiscal sponsor. So we were able to operate underneath their umbrella, and we could qualify as a bona fide 501c3 as long as we did all the reporting through Clean the World. And that's how we were able to give tax incentives and write-offs so people could support our trip to Haiti.
Okay. So you partnered with Save the World.
Yeah. Clean the World.
Clean the World.
And then, so now in this case, the Ribbon app has now built an application that we're now the alpha testers, or one of the alpha testers for, that takes the fiscal sponsorship process and democratizes it, streamlines it, automates it. So now anyone through the Ribbon app can sign up within 3 clicks. Let's say tomorrow you were like, I want to start a race that gives all my money to the Allen Fund, right? Which is whatever charity you want to support.
Right.
And you wanted to put that together, and you wanted to give everyone who donated, all your viewers, tax incentive to donate to you. You could click a link that I send you, and within 3 minutes, we could approve you as our fiscal sponsor.
So can we do that with an organization that we support and partner with, Blackson Technology? They're 501c. Could we partner with them and get people to contribute to Blackson Technology and
Yes.
then support Kadima's efforts to help support people grow their careers?
I think it's getribbon.org.
Okay, I'll have to check that
And I
out.
can send you the link, and it's called the Ribbon app. But we're helping the same guy who founded the, when you go to the store and it says, would you like to round your change up to the closest dollar?
Yeah.
That's called the Roundup app.
Okay.
That app, believe it or not, 10 years ago, that didn't exist, right?
Now it's probably doing a lot of good.
So the CEO of that company, Braden Feinberg, we worked with him. The Relief Foundation originally worked with him to bring Roundup app online. He did Roundup, crushed it, moved on to his next thing, the Ribbon app. We're helping him here now too.
And this always amazes me in all the conversations I have with you. You're always very well connected. I think this is your strongest strength as an entrepreneur, as a business person, is your ability to meet people and build these relationships with the CEO of the Ribbon app or whatever. What do you think allows you to do that or enables you to do that so effectively?
A little bit of luck. I think that's certainly a portion of it. But working hard. It's like a Thursday night. I could go out and grab a drink, or I could go to the tech meetup in Center City.
Right. So you proactively put yourself in a spot where serendipity can happen.
Yes. increases the chances to maximize the success.
Yep. Increase the surface area of luck. Someone talks about that, and I think if you put yourself out there and you're prepared.
Right, and I'm also like I can talk. I'm not like a poser who's coming in just being like because people show up these things and they're just like, can I get your business card? Can I get your and they're like not there. They're there for the wrong reasons, and people see right through that. I'm there because I genuinely want to I love what I'm doing. I want to learn. I want to meet good people, and I want to work together. If you do your job right, your business associates can become your friends. There's no better way to have fun and build a relationship than to make money with someone.
Yeah. And some people assume trust in others. Some people assume mistrust in others. I think generally when you meet somebody, you are probably assuming trust, that people are generally good.
No, less so as I age.
So when you went to this tech meetup, you assume that most people in that room were not going to be there.
I give everyone I'll at least talk to everyone.
Right, so you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. You're trusting them.
And then, but I'm not going to be like just someone says I want to grab lunch. Let's grab lunch. I'm going to go home first. I'm going to look them up.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some diligence. I have some people just
But you're trusting them to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And you got to earn a coffee. You got to earn a lunch. You got to earn a meeting.
I think that's a real weird. I wouldn't say earn. Earn's the wrong word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just got to be the right fit. How many times have you been in a meeting you're just like, I can't wait for this lunch to happen? Right? Does that happen?
Like this podcast right now.
Ouch. What time is it?
No, I think we still have a few minutes here. No, the podcast is actually quite interesting.
Okay.
I'm not just saying that because we're trying to get more.
Yeah,
listeners.
but I think come back to what we were saying before. That that I think about how I guess divvy up my time. I'll see an opportunity like Freedom Tags will come to the relief.
How did that opportunity come to you?
My old roommate Daniel Fine has some Israeli contacts. I was looking for like what I wanted to do with. This was a big question too. It was like, did I want to do something for Israel? I mean, the short answer was yes, but it was like also like very polarizing and very political, and it's also so fresh. And I didn't want to just force into something. And some people were like immediate react. A couple people flew to Israel, are living in Israel, doing their part on the ground. I'm like, if I can help from afar, I'd love to do something. And then Dan got connected. Elon Musk appeared on TV, and he had one of these around his neck, right? And everyone's like, "What is he wearing?" And he talks about it. And it was this Aaron Sorkin interview. Right?
He was wearing that on the interview.
Yes, he was wearing. When he said "F Disney."
Yeah,
he had this around his neck.
Oh, really?
And then they asked him.
He was wearing that crazy fur.
Yeah, he had that jacket, the Bane from Batman jacket.
Okay.
But he had this around his neck. And he was talking about, and then he talks about it.
Did it come up in the interview?
Yes.
I should check that interview out.
It's a great interview.
I've been interested to see that interview.
It's amazing. It's a really good interview. Good for him, too. He also stood up for himself a little bit. That's why he was so defensive about the whole Disney thing. I kind of get it because, the media had said they did, say he was anti-Semitic. And then, even my friends was, oh, God, he's really showing his true colors. But then he explains it in the interview.
Yeah.
He's still sus.
He's a very complicated person.
He's autistic, But anyway, so Musk was wearing this. I'm like, what is he? And he talks about how he got it when he flew to Israel as his apology tour. He met with the hostage families, and they gave him one of these. And they gave him one of these to all the heads of states who come to Israel, and now they're all wearing. He says, "Bring them home now" in Hebrew. And anyway, long story short, Dan was connected with one of the families. They needed help selling these internationally. Dan got the rights, and the first 10,000 of these came in suitcases from Israel.
Wow.
And I was in his apartment in New York, and he's like, I really want to. I'm like, how can we blow these up? It's great. And can we run it through Relief? I said, of course we can run it through Relief, and that's how we got here. So then he started going. It just happened to be when Art Basel hit, and we were down in Miami for Art Basel, handing these out to everyone we could see who's who, or has a little following, and it built a good cadence. And now they're selling.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I definitely want to put a link to those.
Does that answer your question? That's how that.
Yeah, no, but it's again being around the right people
and
right
brave enough to say yes.
Yeah,
I can tell you one of the things I didn't know. So a little bit behind the curtain thing, but I said yes. I said, Dan starts bringing these in.
What did you say yes to? What was like the
Yeah,
question?
yes, we can run this through Relief, meaning Relief will be the bank on record for the Shopify account, so Relief will recognize the income, right? And yes, you can put Relief's logo and name on your website, and so if people have questions, they can now make sure, because not everyone's just going to buy something for Israel, and they're going to do their background checks, and the Jewish mothers are going to be like, oh, who is the Relief Foundation? And they click the link.
Right.
I see them. I see who visits the site. Our traffic has gone up like 140% since we started, since we partnered with these guys. And so I'm seeing like more and more people coming, and our reputation is now on the line. We're now connected at the hip with Freedom Tech.
Nice.
Well, it's nice until you find out the first 1,000 of them that sold were connected to a fulfillment center that wasn't the right fulfillment center. That wasn't capable of doing fulfillment. And now all of a sudden, the partnership you start getting emails from people who are upset customers for product that they ordered before they were underneath our umbrella.
Right.
Issue. So there's a lot of risks. It is definitely a little brave. You have to have a little sense of courage to say yes to do this portfolio company approach, because there are sometimes you don't know the full scope until you're literally in bed with someone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But you were also, so you were fortunate to be with the right people.
Yep.
You also were bold enough to say, let's take this on. I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Let's figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And that, like, some of the stuff works out, some of the stuff you hit errors, but you'll learn from it.
Yeah, and as long as you communicate, the best thing I did was, as these emails start coming in, Christmas Eve, 2 nights ago, I get angry emails or people coming to our website. Where is this a scam?
Right.
I'm personally taking the time. It's not like a generic email blast to everyone who ever ordered. It's me on my personal Relief email saying, sorry, we're having fulfillment issues. We're all volunteers here. Please give us another week. We're almost fix it. That reply disarms anyone.
Yeah.
Get it? But but also that's the work though.
Right.
Because how many people are going to be like, oh, it's just a handful of all the orders that we had. But then you got to remember.
No, you took ownership. You took accountability.
And you know what? Here's the other part. Those first 1,000 people are the loyals.
Yes.
Right? They're the advocates, and if they're not getting it, they care so much that it's real money. $36 is no joke, but they're aggressively following up, and you want to make them happy because they're going to propagate, and that's also what I've been really good at, is being able to take a message and tailor it enough so that people can propagate it in a positive light to help reflect the nature and the intent of the product.
Nice. Awesome, Peter. Well,
Was that a lot?
that was a lot, but it was very interesting to hear the perspective, and each of these different areas of business have different challenges.
Yeah, what was your best moment of the year?
My best moment of the year.
Yeah, your peak, your high.
I
Your
think,
kids getting to college?
uh,
That's kind of cool, right?
that's very cool. I think, yeah, I think that's cool, but I knew it was going to happen, and I really appreciated the approach that they took towards the college application. Lucas knows where he's going. He applied early, got in. Jonah is still, like, his early one he didn't get into, but he shot high, which I give him kudos to.
And he got in to somewhere.
Well, he didn't, right, he got into somewhere. Like, he aimed high for Stanford. He has the grades, he has the capability, but so do 20,000 other people. He didn't get it. He took a swing at the plate, and now he has 14 other apps in the works.
So what's your
and he'll be
peak?
fine.
What's better than that then?
I don't know if there's a peak. Everything's been so good. Like, our 50th birthday
That was awesome.
was great. Being here every year is a peak. Having, like, a healthy family, like watching Jasmine develop. Melanie being an Oprah. That's probably,
That's
like,
pretty awesome.
if I had to pick the peak, yes. It's like
All right, that counts.
seeing Oprah and Adam Grant on the same day with
Your wife.
because riding on my wife's coattails. I'm totally cool with that. So, anyway, let's wrap this one
We're
up.
gonna do this again next year.
We'll do this again
All
next
right,
year.
nice.
And the last wait, don't take it off yet. I have two more questions
Oh,
for you.
I'm sorry.
I always like to ask my guests.
Yeah.
What is one last piece of sick career advice you'd like to leave our ambitious professionals with? It's not that big of a deal. Like, it doesn't have to be the ultimate. Just come up with a good one that's served you well, that you might share with your entrepreneurs in residence about how to manage their careers. Career advice.
Sometimes, if someone asks you a question, it's okay to pause, think about a good answer.
That is good advice.
Nice.
Very.
Is there another one? Is that it?
No, I think that's a good. Oh, that was the penultimate question, and then the last question: where can people find you,
Oh,
Peter?
I love this question.
And how can
Yo,
people help
we've got freedomtags.org if you want to support the Israeli hostage families. 97% of the proceeds go to help them, and it goes through the relieffoundation.org. If you need help learning about AI or have any technology-related questions, we can provide any of your audience a free AI assessment, 30-minute consultation with my team to
you?
figure out.
Expert.
Yeah, you get to talk to my team and I to figure out what is something you can do differently to become, to use technology to be more efficient and maximize your revenue. And if you got a product that you want to go global, like GT's kombucha, I'm an expert. Like, I'm so good. Look, you see this white sticker on top?
Yeah.
You know why that white sticker's on top?
I have no idea. I never thought
See this
about
white
it.
sticker?
Yeah.
This is wild. We have to do this whenever we export a product. We actually have to take it to a fulfillment center and sticker and label the product. So the
That
label
is a
sticker-
hot job for 2024.
Look at this.
One of those sticker appliers.
Aminos and polyphenols. These words are not recognized by the Costa Rican FDA equivalent. Oh, wow. The coffee, I think it's called the Coffee Pris. And because of that, every single bottle.
Is this in the stores down here, or did you bring this down? With
No,
you?
this is from on Mercado down the street. Like, great. Yeah, look. Here.
You're
What I
selling product right down the block.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. Well, anyway, so if you have products,
That's Grovara.
if you need
Dr.
AI
Grovara. Yeah.
help, if you want the freedom tags,
Or you want to do a
Uh,
TV show and do any type of media, I'm the guy.
sounds good. Well, thanks a lot, Peter.
That was it.
And
that
the
was
last
great.
three
One more.
words I will leave for the audience are own your career.
Okay.